Hello everybody, my name is Mina. Today we're moving our spine in a multifaceted way to release any adhesions within the back, also the front of the body, to increase well-being, hopefully. Quite often we look at the spine as this thing that does curl forward, it flexes, it extends, it bends to the side, and it twists, right? And these are the different planes: transverse, coronal, and sagittal plane, or these dimensions that our spine moves in. And in yoga, we don't mix them so much. In dance, there's definitely more mixing going on of these planes. But especially these multi-dimensional ways of moving the torso, where we maybe bend backwards as we move to the side, and then we add a twist. Those are the moments where this web of fascia that we have can start to move in a bit of unusual ways to get rid of adhesions or the stickiness that might have been created by micro trauma, through just not moving enough, through not being hydrated on the level of the cells. So we're going to maybe move in ways that you're not used to so much in yoga, but hopefully it feels good. Please listen to your body. And every body needs a different level of movement or stress to then feel the stretch, or maybe these parts within the movement that feel unfamiliar, where you feel, oh my God, my body is doing something. It's almost like we're trying to massage it from within. Good. So I have a blanket and a bolster that we'll need later today. If you don't have a bolster, you can also stack up some pillows that you have. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we'll get started in a child's pose. Your favorite child's pose. Your knees can be closer together, further apart. And then you can release your forehead down. I'm going to release my arms to the side today, because that will allow my shoulders to droop down. If you like any other arm variation, maybe forward, you can do that as well. And we're just using this posture here to get settled. Feel the back body slowly starting to drip down through the sides. And I was imagining like slime dripping down your back, and it slowly starting to spread out over the sides, also front to back, so that the whole surface of your back just starts to increase. And you can start to help this along by deepening your breath. Breath in expands your spine, your whole back surface a bit. The exhale allows you to soften. Feel this drooping, tailbone dripping down, head getting heavier, shoulders rolling forward. I'm going to breathe into the lower back for one deep breath. The sacrum expand, and exhale. Breathing deeply into the mid-back, around the ribs. And exhaling to release. And also into the upper back, between the shoulder blades. And exhale to soften. And if there's an intention you like to set for today, you can do that here. Dedicate this to someone, or maybe just want to focus on your well-being. Gift yourself this time to take care. Good. And you can slowly start to plant your hands, lift your gaze. And we're going to extend the arms forward. Reach the arms forward as far as you can, creating some length here. And then we're going to start to roll around the spine forward. And exhale back. Good. A few times just to warm up through the spine. Inhale, round your spine forward. And exhale, round your spine back. Good. And this movement so far is only one dimensional. We're moving along the sagittal plane, so we're flexing and extending the spine. But another thing that we sometimes forget is that the spine is really long, right? It has many vertebrae. And they can move independently from one another. So maybe here everything is flexed, but I can start to arch the lower back while the head or the cervical spine is still down. And then I can start to travel. Then I can start to curl my tailbone under, but my upper back or my head is still in extension. So using the spine more segmentally so that all the different parts are free. Good, and then we're going to slowly come all the way onto the belly. I'm going to scoot back a little bit and right away into Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders. If this is already too strong of a back bend, you can walk the elbows even further forward so it's milder. Let's spread the fingers for a moment. Claw the mat. Good. And you can allow the heart to drip down here. Good. So far, we're again just in a back bend, opening the heart. Breathe in here. And as you exhale, you can look over the right shoulder, starting to mix a twist into it, a little bit of side bend. Inhale. And exhale, twisting a little bit in an extension. Again, the head leads. And the rest of the spine follows along. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Nice dive. Inhale, center. And then exhale. I'm going to look over my left shoulder. And I'm going to bend my knee out to the side like a little frog here. I'm going to extend my arm forward and move into a twist. Good. Just going to hang out here for a moment. First bigger twist for today. If we have more room, we can allow this left arm to open up a little bit more. Doesn't matter if the shoulder is on the ground, doesn't matter if the knee is on the ground. Just feeling the twist. And as we slowly come back, you can extend through the left arm and coming from a twist back into an extension of the spine to the other side. So we're starting to mix these different dimensions. I'm going to look over to the right side. I'm going to bend my right knee out to the side like a frog and then open up into a twist here. Okay. So in these final positions, we're in a simple twist or in a simple back bend, but in between these transitions, right? These transitions are a wonderful moment for us to explore the multi-dimensionality of these twists moving into back bends moving into twists, into side bends, forward folds. Good. It's another reason to really cherish and appreciate transitions. Okay, take another breath in. And as you exhale, sending through the right leg, come back and swing. Good. So from here, we're going to arc and twist the spine a little bit bigger. So we already did it in Sphinx pose. Inhale. And exhale, look over the shoulder. Good. But I'm going to also lift my head up. So I'm going to deepen the extension, adding it into the neck. Inhale. And then looking behind. Good. And by lifting the head up, we're adding quite a bit of length to the front body. It's even a little bit hard for me to see. So make sure you don't collapse the neck. You're pressing into the forearms. And maybe your head doesn't lift as far, no problem. The deeper you look back, the more you end up in a twist. Inhale, center. And exhale. One. And then let's come back. And then just release your forehead down. You can shake it out. If that was enough for you, you can stay there and repeat in Sphinx pose. You can start to incrementally increase both the back bend as well as the twist by coming more into a cobra. So hands pressing down underneath your shoulders, coming into a cobra. Relaxing through the hips, pressing all 10 toes into the floor. And then the same thing, we're going to inhale with the head. And then exhale, look over the right shoulder. Maybe moving towards extending the left arm. Inhale again. So really arcing up. And exhale. Inhale. You can also include your eyes. So seeing how far high, how far back you can look. So we're also really massaging, squeezing out the kidneys here. Noticing huge difference between left and right. Last one, and then inhale center. And then exhale down. So if you have issues with the joint facet, those are some of the joints in our spine, this might be really uncomfortable for you. This is just not your video. However, it could be that these are exactly the movements that your spine or just the fascia along your whole torso needs to get rid of some of these adhesions. You can repeat the same height, or you can increase again your cobra. Maybe I'm going to move my hands next to my chest. But to even higher cobra. Breath in. Then again, exhale to look over one shoulder. And I'm moving my hips a little bit, so almost coming into a side cobra here. Deepen the twist, inhale. And then exhale. So again, non-classical yoga here. And as I exhale and I twist, I'm almost rounding my spine to deepen the opening more through the front of the hips. Good. It might take you a few tries to get used to these movements. Last side, inhale. And exhale. Good, inhale. And exhale. Good, and then let's shake out the hips. Releasing. Nice. And then I'm going to grab my hands next to the chest and do some rocking cat-cow. So I'm going to really round the back. Inhale, shift the weight forward, shift the weight back as I open the heart. Exhale, untuck the toes, round the back. Inhale, chest lift. So this is really to release through the lower back, shifting the weight back. Inhale hard. Exhale, shift back, press the toes into the floor, round the back, looking towards the navel. Inhale last time. And exhale. Good, let's move into a downward facing dog just to lengthen everything, tuck the toes under, lifting up and back, lengthening. Again, your knees can be soft, bend one knee at a time, letting the head hang. Good. And then we're going to slowly come into a lunging position. We're going to start with the right leg forward. You can step right through, or you can come through all fours. I'm going to place a little blanket underneath the knee because we're going to stay a little while in a lunging position. So it's nice to have a little bit of padding. And just saying hi to your low lunge here. Done this quite a bit in the last video where we worked specifically on the low back, which tends to tense up because of some shortness to the front of the hip. Today we're going to add some side bends and rounding through the upper back actually to floss a bit more the femoral nerve, which moves through the front of the hip. So I'm going to cup my skull with my left hand. I'm going to inhale here and then exhale into side lunge. Good. So this again combines a little bit of an extension with a side bend. We're going to segmentally use the spine and the femur. We're going to inhale here, lean back a little bit, so full extension. And then exhale, I'm going to curl down in a quarter circle and round forward. So my upper back is rounding and my lower back or my hips here are in extension. Inhale again through the side bend. And then exhale, rounding. If balance is an issue, I have a block right here. You can make yourself a third pod as a tripod, and that way you're a little bit more stable. Inhale, extension or side bend. Exhale, curling down. Inhale again through the side. Hips want to move forward and down. Good. I'm feeling all sorts of things here. Again, your movement might be really small, right? This might be your range of motion to feel something with block or without block. Or you might move in a really big way. Last one here. Good, and again, you can continue this for a minute or so, 2 minutes if you feel good with it. Let's release. And then let's switch sides. Again, you can switch through down dog, or you can just simply swing the other leg forward. And then again, starting by finding your balance here, your low lunge. Sinking the hips forward and out. This time cupping the skull with the right hand. And this elbow helps me to give some direction. I feel it's easier for me to really create the movement through the spine with this position. It also gives more length through the whole side of the body than with the arm extended, because this tightens or makes it a little bit more taut, this whole fascial line. Inhale and exhale into side bend. Good. If any of these positions are enough for you, just stay there. Otherwise, you can start to add the quarter circle. Inhale to the side, opening up more to an extension and side bend. And exhale, curling, rounding. Good. This one is my tight side. This is the side that really needs it for me. So as you round, still allowing the hip to move forward as the upper back curls, and that really gets into the femoral nerve here. Inhale and exhale. Good, and see how big your movement has to be. Maybe you're here. Maybe that's enough for you to feel that those adhesions start to melt away. Good, last one. Great. And let's come back. All fours. Maybe a downward facing dog just to lengthen. Any of you vinyasa fans, of course, feel free to go through vinyasa. Great, and let's go through the other lunging position one more time. So stepping your right foot forward. And this time a little bit similar, but we're going to go into a twist as opposed to a rounding. So same position here, we're in a lunge. Left hand onto the head. Again, you can place a block next to you to have one more leg. And then inhale here, extension. And as you exhale, we're going to bend over to the side. And from there into a twist. Almost like you're trying to point your left elbow towards the back. Inhale again. Coming up into the side bend. Exhale, twisting, pointing the elbow backwards. upwards. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, pointing the elbow back, coming more into a twist. Good. And I'm using my hand here so I have some resistance. So I can twist a little bit deeper. Good, last one. It's quite a bit for balance. Nice. And then let's switch sides. So you might have noticed how I shifted from moving into this more from the side bend to more from an arched position. So all these movements are kind of following the trail of highest resistance in some way. We want to find those parts of our bodies that feel sticky. So if it feels more sticky going from a back bend into a twist as opposed to from a side bend into a twist, then you go for that, right? These are ideas for you to explore, to move into those areas where it gets sticky. So let's see how it feels like on the side. I'm going to start with a side bend. Right hand cupping my head. And then I'm going to exhale. Move into the twist. Inhale again, side bend. And exhale into the twist. Let me see how the other one works. Inhale from more back bend. So on this side feels better actually to move from a side bend into a twist. Again, if you want to use your tripod. Good. Last two. Right, and then slowly come up. Back into downward facing dog if you like. One last vinyasa if you like. Otherwise just extending it out here. Good. And then lowering the knees. Let's go into puppy pose for just a moment to open through the shoulders. If you're bending, you want to release your chest down, you can do that. And from here, let's move back onto all fours and into a side cobra. So I'm going to move the blanket aside for a moment, come all the way back onto my belly. And I'm going to start side cobra on the right side. So right hand underneath my shoulder, left fingertip a little bit further back. I'm going to roll onto my side. Left foot can be in front of the right thigh. This will deepen the whole length in the whole side. Okay. And the closer this right hand is to my hips, the more intense or the more higher the intensity, the angle. So this is more gentle slope. The closer my hand comes to my hips, the more of an intense slope this will be. So we're opening the side here. Again, we're starting off in a side bend in this case. I'm going to take a moment here to get used to this. So I'm activating my right foot in this case, pressing the outer edge of the foot into the floor. And again, this is not an official yoga position. The shoulder can slump up towards the ear, and that will actually increase here the opening and serratus, the lats, all these side muscles here that tend to not get stretched so much. You really lean into this. Great. We're not going to stay here. We're actually going to add first cat and cow into this position. So we already have a side bend going. We're going to add extension and flexion of the spine. So I'm going to flex or cactus my left arm. I'm going to inhale a little bit of a back bend. So feeling like my tailbone and the back of my hand come together. And then exhale, I'm going to round the spine as I bring the elbow forward. So inhale, lift the heart, gentle back bend, And then exhale to round. And again, this is introducing a little bit more complexity into the movement. So it's not just a side bend anymore. And I might move the stretch, the opening in the fascia into different parts of the body. It might be enough for you to do this on your forearms. This might be enough of a stretch for you here. And again, you can move this arm along anyway on the mat. Good. And then let's first go off to the other side. I'll introduce one more movement where we're going to come all the way into the belly. And then side cobra on the other side, left hand under the shoulder, right hand moves closer. Now turn my back on you. Right foot in front of the left thigh, and I get to see a different view. Again, you can move this left hand this time anywhere along the mat. Left foot is active, and I'm really sinking down here to create space between the ribs, intercostal muscles as well, the obliques, you might feel them. Good. And when we do side stretches, we often do them from a seated position, upper body going somewhere. But this really uses gravity to create space. Nice, so let's start to add the cat and cow movement. Cactus arm in your right arm. Inhale, I'm bending my left elbow a little bit to make space for the shoulder blade to move back. And exhale, rounding, elbow coming forward. Pubic bone, belly button towards one another. Inhale to lift the heart. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. And exhale. And for you, this might be a really small movement or a much larger movement than I'm showing you here. But again, just exploring these multi-dimensional movements. We're not just in a side bend. We're adding flexion and extension in here. Good. Your left arm might get tired, so let's switch. Coming back onto the belly. Shaking your hips side to side. We're going to come back into the first position. Right hand again under the shoulder. Left hand moves back a little bit so you can prop yourself up. Side cobra on the first side again. Left foot in front of the thigh. Good. So, and here this time we're going to add a twist. So almost like thread the needle. Starting in the same position, cactusing the left arm. Inhale. And then exhale, I'm going to thread this arm under, maybe looking under. Good, so we're in the side bend. And we're adding a twist. Good. And again, it might be very, very small movement. You can also bend your right arm a little bit. One more. Getting speechless. Feels really good for me. Good. And then option here to go into supported side plank for a moment to use these muscles that we've just been stretching. Inhale. I like to actually go up and exhale. Okay. So again, this whole side we just stretched, activating it now. On the other hand, the left side extends. Take a breath in. Good, and then exhale, slowly come down. Let's come all the way onto our bellies again. Go through the other side. Left hand underneath the shoulder, right hand moving back a little bit to prop yourself up. Right foot in front of the left thigh. Left foot active, grounded. Good, and again, we're start with the twist. Inhale into cactus. And then exhale, I'm threading my right arm under. Trying to feed this arm through, which moves the twist into the thoracic spine. Inhale. And exhale. And then moving my left shoulder blade back to facilitate this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You can, of course, add the twist to the other side as well. Yes, to see how big you want to make these movements. Good. Can continue here or add that side plank if you like. Inhale and exhale. Pressing into left hand, right foot, outer edge of left foot. And then creating space to the right side as you shorten the left side. And just create lengthen, breath in. And then exhale, hips down all the way onto the belly. Good, take your hips side to side. Good, and let's just do one symmetrical cobra, just to see how our back feels as opposed to at the beginning. Hands underneath the shoulders, rolling the shoulders back. Good. Maybe there's more freedom, maybe it doesn't feel good. Just noticing, it doesn't have to be anything. Good, let's come all the way back and into child's pose. Round. Just to release. I'm just turning my palms up. Just a signal to myself that I'm not expecting anything, just receiving whatever there is to receive. And then you can slowly come back up. And we'll just counter this for just 1 second. Lots of back bendy movements, although we've been adding a lot of flexion as well. If you want, you can sit on a blanket. And we'll start here with knees bent. I'm gonna move the arms out to the side. Inhale here, and exhale through back. Okay. Legs can be any amount extended or just bent just as much. And since we're going multidimensional today, we're going side to side. Inhale to the side, exhale through center. Inhale side, and the arms are just helping you to feel the weight. Tummy's rumbling. And again, you're going to extend the legs, much bigger. And anywhere along the path where you just want to stay. And my head is nice and heavy. You can also widen the feet a little bit more than a classic Fascia intense westward stretch. Going side to side, combining side bends, this time flexion. To release through the back, this time in a different way. Good, and then just next time you're back in center, just staying there. Again, your knees can be bent, it doesn't have to be the deepest forward fold, just exploring a different dimension. The head hanging, and side to side. Good, and then you can come slowly up. We're going to come onto our backs. For a passive heart opener here with our bolster, I'm going to move the blanket aside and block as well. I don't need it anymore, unless you need it for your Shavasana. Actually, let's get the block. So we're going to come into a fish pose with the block or the bolster underneath our mid to upper back. And for some people, you can just release the head down, pull your tail out of the way, and this is not too much. If it's too much, you can place the block lowest setting, even the second setting, so it feels more open. If this is too much, you can obviously sit on a blanket so that the back bend in the lower back is not too intense. I'm just going to show you. So the higher anything that's sitting on, the less back bend or curvature in your spine you'll have. So this is a modified variation. Still a hard opening. Your arms can just move out to the side. Just going to get rid of this. And I'm going to place the block a little bit lower. Good. From here, again, we're going to add another twist. And this time we're simply adding a twist by windshield wipering the knee. So we're releasing the spine, moving towards the back end of the class. We're twisting. We're also in a heart opener. And this really opens into the spiral lines get rid of the block. Good. And next time you're on one side, you can just hang out there for a moment. The knees don't have to come to the ground. And if your knee feels a little bit sensitive, there you can place maybe something under, or you don't come down as far. Breathing into the whole side body here, so we're in an arch position and the low back is twisting. Good, one more breath in. And we'll take a hold on the other side as well. Now is using the breath to sneak yourself a little deeper into these postures. Last deep breath here. And noticing the differences between the sides, allowing them to be there. Good, and then since you're on that side, you can completely roll onto that side. Move the bolster out of the way and then lie back down. In constructive rest for a moment with knees bent, you can let the knees drop in. And just depending on how high the head was, for some of you it was even an inversion, so allowing the blood to come back. Allowing the spine to be just even. From there you can extend the legs or move it into your variation of Shavasana that suits you today. Maybe taking another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And allowing your torso just to be resting, supported, open in front. After we've moved it in so many ways. Not necessarily in deep ways in any direction. We didn't do the deepest back bends, didn't do the deepest forward folds, didn't do the deepest side bends, but we combined those movements. So these combinations, we'll open up maybe some pathways. And now the spine can just unwind here. And the communication between 24 segments, the spine, the vertebrae, just happen freely.
time to just lie down for a few more minutes, you can do that. For those of you who slowly come back to seated, start to mobilize fingers, toes. Eventually bringing the knees in, moving over onto your favorite side. Now releasing anything into the floor that you have just released. You don't need to carry within your body into the rest of the day. And you come up to seated. Finding an upright spine. Hands into heart center. And I thank you for sharing this practice and hope to see you soon.